Are you looking for peace of mind at your doorstep? Look no further. With the Blink Video Doorbell, your home's entrance is always within your control. Check out the link in the video description to learn more and get your Blink Video Doorbell on Amazon. Your home is in your hands.
A grieving farmer got home from his father's funeral to find heartless thieves had swooped on his fields and stolen 300 of his sheep. Neil Fell suspects his 300-acre farm near the village of Branspeth, County Durham, was targeted by the criminals because they knew he would be out at the family funeral. The cruel gang stole a flock of 120 Welsh mountain ewes and 180 lambs, worth about £18,000, and Neil says they will now be butchered and their meat sold on the black market. He was compensated by his insurer but said that if he had been able to rear the lambs to sell at market he could have made almost double that, estimating his total loss at around £35,000. The theft is the latest example of a rising trend involving organized criminal gangs stealing livestock, with figures showing £2.7 million worth of cattle, sheep and pigs were stolen last year, a 4-year high. Neil said, whoever took them knew the family would be away at the funeral. Livestock theft has a major impact on a farmer. That is my profit for the year gone, so we will be at a loss this year. I have a wife and 2 children to support. It has had a big financial impact and a big mental impact with the stress. I have to admit that, because you can't pay that bill you used to be able to pay. A neighbor had seen a lorry in Neil's field that day but assumed it was someone legitimately moving the flock. The figures showing this year's cost of livestock theft to farmers will be published in the National Farmers Union, NFU, annual Rural Crime Report on August 1st. The insurer is funding the first National Livestock Theft Prevention Officer at the National Rural Crime Unit. On social media, Jackie Pennington said, "This makes me so angry. Poor farming family, and who knows what possible cruelty the sheep have endured. And to think they waited until everyone was at his father's funeral. Despicable." Robert Story said, "There just seems to be a tide of criminality sweeping this country. How on earth can you steal a flock of sheep and get away with it?" Meanwhile, a farmer from Devon has described the scene when he uncovered a brutal and barbaric attack on his herd of sheep. The farmer, who keeps the animals on land near Exeter, does not want to be named for fear of reprisal attacks by the gang. He and his wife discovered 6 of their sheep had been killed when they went to carry out a routine check on the flock at around 9 p.m. on Monday, July 22nd. The animals' carcasses had been stolen but their heads had been cut off and left behind. One of the sheep killed had a lamb which is just 6 weeks old and is now missing. He said, "I just stood there, staring at it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Obviously we've seen dead sheep before, we've seen what foxes can do or dog attacks, but they ripped the animal apart. Then my partner found a sheep's head just thrown into the scrub on the opposite side of the field. It was then the penny dropped that the animal had been slaughtered. You could see the bloody trail where they had dragged the carcasses to the gateway and removed them from the field. They must have either shot the sheep or used some sort of weapon, possibly a crossbow, to take the sheep down, because it would have been extremely difficult to catch these sheep in a field that size in order to do this. We have a hard enough life as it is, and the cost of farming in general is putting a lot of pressure on people, and we simply do not need the worry of checking your livestock to find somebody to basically help themselves, and not only that but brutally murder your animals and then stolen them. These people are not only carrying around knives but are obviously capable of butchering an animal, but they're also armed with the means to take these animals down. Obviously we're horrified and stunned that this kind of thing is going on, and also quite worried about what would happen if these people were disturbed whilst they are carrying out what they do, because in order to get these animals out of the field, we think that probably was at least 2, 3, possibly 4 of them. He warned the sheep are not safe for human consumption because of medical treatment they were receiving. P.C. Clark Orchard, of the Rural Affairs team at Devon and Cornwall Police, said, "We understand that this incident will be concerning for people living in rural communities and urge farmers in the area to be ext